Hi, I'm Rick Dior, and welcome to part 2 of my melodic drum set soloing series, where I pick certain bebop tunes, classic ones, and I play over them and show you how to develop ideas and concepts for doing this kind of thing. So that was Oleo, the great tune by the amazing Sonny Rollins. I believe that tune was written probably around 1954. He brought it into a Miles Davis recording session, and they recorded it there. But also it's been recorded by probably, a couple dozen great jazz legends, guys like John Coltrane, Bill Evans, of course Sonny himself, as well as Miles Davis, and many, many others. It's a really common tune if you go to a jam session and they're playing something fast, they'll call this. And this is a form called rhythm changes. And it's based on the Gershwin tune, I Got Rhythm, more or less. So the form is always the same. There's lots and lots of tunes in this form. Charlie Parker wrote plenty of them, as did many, many jazz artists. When I was first learning this song, I would sing the head to I Got Rhythm, and when I was soloing, that way I wouldn't get lost. So it's a 32-bar form. You have the head, which is 8 bars, and another 8 bars, which are 2 A's. So that's A, A, and then the bridge is a cycle of changes that runs in fourths. So in Oleo, it would be D13, G13, C13, and F13. So you have the D, and then you go up a fourth, a G, you go up another fourth, a C, go up another fourth, it's an F7. Kind of follows the circle of fifths backwards, if you want to think of it like that. And those are all dominant chords. And sometimes on these heads, Oleo being one of them, there's no melody played. So in the bridge, the soloist or whoever's playing horns or piano or whatever, guitar, they would take that bridge and then they'd go back to the A sections and play the head. Now, certain tunes, especially like monk tunes, rhythmic, and all these other rhythm changes tunes, do have melodies on the bridge, so you need to learn those as well. But Oleo does not, and sometimes on the bridge you'd play an 8-bar drum solo. That's really common too. But like I said, this is a common jazz jam session tune, and expect to play it really fast. Right there I was playing it at quarter note equals 260, which isn't so fast. I've had to play it a lot faster. I'll give you an example. I did a gig recently that I had to play this tune around 320, which is really, really quick. I'll play a little of that for you. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So this head, like many of his others, St. Thomas is another one, that is very syncopated. So that figure, that's the second ending. So that figure, it's like a hemiola. It's an implied 3/4 within 4/4. So I would start there and just practice that figure with your hi-hat on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you saw what I did there, I hope. I started out pretty straight on the snare drum. I moved it to the toms, and then I stretched it like a triplet. almost kind of a Latin kind of thing, triplet. And that's great to do when you're soloing over these things. Take those rhythms and stretch them, all right? Now, just like my first video, Billy's Bounce, in this video, I'd like to play this for you just on the snare drum, and that's always a great way to practice it. So I'll play the head on the snare drum for you. And the way it's written in this chart here, this is the original illegal real book, they have that last eighth note tied, but it should be short. So, ba-ba-da, ba-ba-da. If I'm a horn player, that's the way I'm phrasing that. So just kind of ignore the length of that tie. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you play it faster, you want to be cognizant of stickings. So we'll boost this up to 240. And now we're going to try to play some accents. So if I sing it, hear that? Those are accents. And you can do that with stickings. All right, so there I'm showing you a couple of different variations. So let's put the metronome on, and I'll play the whole tune for you, this tempo, and I'll start using some bass drum, just like we did in that first Billy's Bounce video. And here you're going to do syncopations like this. So those strong notes I sang for you just a minute ago, those are the ones you want to put on your bass drum. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see how I'm doing that, all right? And so practice that at all tempos, but that's kind of normally the tempo that this tune is played at, so you want to make sure you can play it there. Now, the phrasing is important, so it almost straightens out at that tempo. It's kind of in the Netherlands there, where it's not quite swung, not quite straight. As you play it faster, so let's say 280, 1, 2, 1, 2. Almost completely straight now. And when you play it slower, let's say 200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's more of the bebop kind of semi-swung, semi-straight phrasing. You don't want to do this. Okay, that's kind of bleached, well, to use a term that I use sometimes. You don't want to do that. You want to swing. And the inflection that you use is a big part of swing. So to make it really funky, we'll go just a little bit faster here. We'll do it at 250. I'm sorry, 230. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there I'm taking liberties. I'm stretching some things. I'm contracting others. That's something you can do in your solo as well. It doesn't always have to be perfectly straight or perfectly swung. So at this tempo, I'm going to show you how I do this while playing time now, and we're going to comp with it. So no toms, just snare, bass drum, hi-hat, and ride cymbal. I'll play some time up front. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So that's a great comping exercise. Obviously, also you're playing the head, all right? And you can see there how I'm doing that between the hands and the feet and doing a little juggling act. And then it gets trickier when you start using the toms and playing around because, you know, logistically, this is a hard head to play. There's a lot of spaces in there that you have to fill in accurately. So we'll do that at the same tempo. I'll play the whole tune all the way through. 1, 2, 1, 2. So I played 2 choruses there for you. I played the head all the way through, and then I played some time for the A section, the second chorus, on this Swish cymbal, and then I soloed on the bridge, which is something, like I said earlier, you may have to do. So let's boost up the tempo here to a healthy 300, which would be 150 on your metronome, and I'll play over this a little for you. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.